morning, Trainiacs. We have a Zwift race to do today against some really, really fun people. And that means that I had to weigh myself for like the first time in $176.2. So that works out to, well, I can't do that mental math. 80 kgs, and I just redid my FTP, which came in at 287, which means that 3.59 watts per kg is my FTP. That puts me in the B group for the Zwift race. It's gonna be terrible. It's gonna hurt so bad. So last week, a fellow YouTuber named Greg Doucette, IFBB Pro. He's a guy that goes on YouTube and he kind of does teardowns of fitness bullshittery. When influencers are saying things that are just blatantly untrue, when influencers are claiming to be totally natural and very clearly they're not. He himself is a IFBB pro, a bodybuilding pro, and he knows what it takes to get super jacked and super lean. Now, I'm not into all of the juicing that goes on and all of that he says all of these people are on. You just have to accept that it's on. That's not my jam. What I am into is calling out the fitness influencers out there that say, well, all you need is chicken, broccoli, rice, and a little bit of protein powder that they just so happen to sell. And with that, you can look exactly like them. It isn't quite that easy. Well, somebody let me know that he did a teardown of one of my videos, and it scared the bejesus out of me. Turns out that we agree on a lot of things, actually.
Exactly! He clearly knows what he's talking about.
And in the video, he actually called me out and said,
and maybe you should race Coach Greg in a Zwift bike race. You up for the challenge, Mr. Triathlon Coach? You can beat a bodybuilder, right? Not just a bodybuilder. Let's see your race, Coach Greg. Friendly race on Zwift.
So, today I am representing Team Emaciated Endurance Athlete, and we are going to race Greg Doucette, his brother and video editor Steve Doucette, and then we've got John Glode, the guy best known online as Obese to Beast. So they are really sprinty and powerful. And we're doing a 4.4K race. It's not going to go well. So what we've picked is just a really, really short course. And it's like 1 against 3. I don't know if they've been in cahoots in the lead up to this as far as like timing the sprint. So, do I expect to win? I don't know. These are some big fellas here. They are built like track sprinters. I am not. About 2.5 minutes away. I'm actually afraid right now. Somebody is saying that at the slowest, this race is like 5 minutes, 50 seconds. This is just gonna be a bloodbath. Everyone in the comments is saying that their money is on the sprinty guys. So I warmed up by this point. I got my heart rate up. I did a few of those openers that you saw, some high cadence, high power, just to turn the body on. And of course, like all Zwift races do, this went out hot. John, Obese to Beast, like he went out really, really hot. The name of the game though in these Zwift rides is that you've got to get yourself into the mix of the group that you want to be riding with. There's no bridging up at any point in the race. If you aren't there right at the start, you aren't going to be there at the end.
So you can see that I went out with the big pack. Right now I'm at about 29th place, and what I'm trying to do is make sure that I'm not toasting myself too early, but I'm staying at least within like scaring distance, at least being in that mix. And you can see that I'm getting up to 25th, 23rd, getting up there. At this point, I think John had gone in behind me. Steve Doucette, video editor of Greg Doucette, and Greg were in that main group. They definitely got up there right away. I think that this is the first Zwift race that I've done in about 2 years. And talking with Steve after, I know that there was a time that he was doing his Zwift race almost every day. I think Greg does a lot of Zwift races. I'm up to like 5th place now, 3rd place, so I got myself back into the mix. But I got no idea what kind of kick I've got at the end. I know relative to triathletes, I've got a really big kick, but relative to road cyclists and especially like sprint discipline like specialists, I wasn't expecting to come out winning this. I wanted to at least be close. You can see there in the footage that I'm basically right at the back of that front pack, and that's kind of where I stayed throughout the entire race. I thought that I could have this nice draft of everyone and then be a little bit fresher than everyone, thinking that that was going to be the play. But again, because I haven't done this race before, and the other guys have done specifically this 4K race before, I didn't know if that was the right strategy or not. I'm gonna be totally honest with you, at 2.5 minutes in, this really started to hurt. I thought that I might have that right strategy of being at the back of the front pack and being fresh enough to like bring it up. You could see that for a second there I was in 10th place, so I was right in the mix, and basically everyone that was around us was either like an A group and we were all B group, and it was basically just a handful of us that were up there. So I figured I had maybe a shot, but I've never sprinted against these guys. And it's been since September since I did some real sprinting. Somebody called me there, and I cannot tell you how much that cheesed me. It turned off my music, and I needed that music. I needed every last bit of help that I could get. So just under a mile left at this point. Heart rate was up into the mid 170s. I couldn't even see my heart rate. I couldn't even see my power. I wasn't looking at that. All I was looking at is my positioning and making sure that Greg and Steve were close by and that I could maybe pull out a sprint. I didn't see John at this point, but I wanted to be like at least within scaring distance of them. So a lot of pain here. I was beginning to think that I don't know if I had any sprint in me. I was starting to see it kind of whip up towards the end, as it always does. They start shelling riders. I was kind of just barely hanging on to the end of the group. And again, thinking that everyone else might be in that same sort of spot where if it's hurting me, it's killing them. But I was really banking on the fact that the finish was on a hill climbing, and that my power to weight would be a little bit better than the big guys who might not have that same sort of kick on a hill. But you can see that right now I am right at the back of the front group, and that's just too far to end up coming up in a sprint at the end of a Zwift ride. Barely even close. Oh. I think third. Editor Steve, Coach Greg, 6 spots below. Triathlon Taren. I don't know where Obese to Beast went. Whoa. Okay, well, basically as expected, during all the steady stuff, I was able to hang into the final sprint, and then the sprint happened and they just took off and no answer for it. I mean, they're probably holding, I think I've seen videos with like 900 watts or more for 30 seconds. I just can't do that. I don't ever train for that. Last time I did anything even close to that was, September. Well done, Greg. Well done, John. Well done, Editor Steve. In this race, the bodybuilders win. All right, Trainiac's lesson for today is, if you are a long endurance athlete, an ultra endurance athlete, don't try to enter a race that involves a lot of sprinting with people built for sprints. If you like this video and you want to see more, comment below anyone in fitness that you know rides, who we should try to do a showdown with, and what kind of distance race we should do it in. And if you aren't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button below. Woo!